Hello everyone, welcome back to another game unboxing and gameplay video. So yesterday I picked up Sushi Roll by Gamewright. I've already played a couple games of it, but I just want to open it up, let you see the components, and just do a brief overview of the rules. So here's Sushi Roll. If you like Sushi Go, their card drafting game, you're going to probably like this one. It's a dice drafting game. A few different mechanics that make it kind of interesting. So here we go here. Here's our little rule book. Very simple rules. Just a couple pages. Goes from up to 2 to 5 players. You got a bag full of different dice here. It's a little catalog. Each player will get a board here. This will show you the scoring combinations and values. And it'll also show you the face of each of the dice in the game. So, for example, with these red dice, with the rolls, basically the 1 and the 2 will be just single rolls. The 3 and the 4 will be 2 rolls, and the 5 and the 6 will have 3 rolls. On the blue dice, 3 of the sides will have dumplings, 2 of the sides will have tempura, and 1 of the 6 sides will have the sashimi. On this particular die, 2 of the sides will have wasabi, 2 of the sides will have menus, and 2 of the sides will have chopsticks. Let's see if we can get a better look at those. And then on these dice with the puddings, 2 sides will have 1 pudding, 2 sides will have 2, and 2 sides will have 3. So they kind of mirror the maki roll thing here. Beginning of each game, each player is going to get 2 chopstick tokens and 3 menu tokens. The end of the game, you score points based on how many of these you haven't used. So what the chopsticks and menus do is the menu allows you to re-roll dice on your conveyor belt before you draft them, of course. And the chopstick allows you to swap an item off of your conveyor belt with an item off of an opponent's conveyor belt. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic. We have our point tokens here for scoring. We have the menu tokens here for re-rolling. We have our chopstick tokens for swapping dice between players. We have our pudding tokens for scoring at the end of the game. So at the end of, I believe, 3 rounds, you do a dessert round, and whoever has the most of these gets a certain number of points. Whoever has the least loses points. And then we have the conveyor belts. So we have one conveyor belt with a red border. Whoever has this conveyor belt will be the active player, and they'll get to go first after everybody's rolled their dice. They'll be the first one either spending tokens to re-roll or swap or drafting, and then each other conveyor belt will look the same. So we have a total of 5 conveyor belts here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with one of them being red to indicate the active player. I'm going to clear this off here so I can set up a sample game here. So in a 2-player game, one player is going to get the active conveyor belt, the other player will take that one. Each player will get a board. Boards will sit under their conveyor belt. Each player will then get 2 chopsticks and 3 menus. So 2 chopsticks here, 2 chopsticks here, and the rest of these can go back into the bag. And there are dice, like these dice here, will allow you to regain or get more menu tokens or chopstick tokens. But that's kind of a little bit of the strategy. Is it better to have some of these tokens at the end of the game to score points on, or is it worth it to get these various re-rolls? I think I may have to put those away. So let me just... So 2 chopsticks. Each player gets 3 menus. And we'll go through like a couple sample rounds here. 3 menus and 3 menus. In the rulebook, depending on how many people you will be playing with, will indicate how many dice each player starts with. In a 2-player game, you're going to shake up your dice bag. You're going to draw out 8 dice per player. So let's see what we have here. 7, 8. And one more die here. 4, 8. Each player begins by rolling their dice and placing them on their conveyor belt. This player will be going first. I'll be going first because I have the red conveyor belt. So as you can see here, I have two dumplings, I have a wasabi, I have a triple on the maki roll, a sashimi, two nigiri. These are the 2-point nigiris and one pudding. The opponent has three dumplings, two single nigiri or two single maki roll, a nigiri, and wasabi. If I wanted to, I could spend one of my menu tokens to re-roll my pool of dice, or I can spend a chopstick to swap a die with an opponent. I don't think that's beneficial right now, so what I'm going to do is I do know that there are three nigiri dice out total. So even if I take the wasabi, on my next turn, I will probably be getting past one of these nigiri that don't get taken. So I'm going to go ahead and take a wasabi. And that passes to this player. This player can either now spend their menus to reroll, spend a chopstick to swap. Should be yep, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. So let's see what we have here. So they could go for maki rolls. They could go for dumplings. So they, for example, with dumplings, one dumpling is worth 2 points, 4 is worth, or 2 is worth 4, and 3 is worth 8. With tempura, the only difference between this and the Sushi Go is tempura can score 5 points off the 2. This one is either a single tempura is worth 1, a double tempura is worth 5, and a triple tempura is worth 10. And in Sushi Go, the card game, sashimi is worth 10 points, but you have to have 3. With this one, it's going to either be worth 0, 6, or 13, depending on how many of these you have. So one of those on its own is worth nothing. But if you have 2, it's worth 6. If you have 3, it's worth 13. So they also have a wasabi, so they may want to wait for a maki roll as well. But we'll just start and say they want to take a dumpling. We will now, instead of passing a card, you're passing the dice to the other player. This will slide over here. And now this player is the active player. So once dice are rolled, they'll get to they'll draft first or decide to spend their tokens. So let's go ahead and roll these up. So that was a triple. Let me re-roll that. Triple. We have some pudding, extra chopsticks. Oh yeah, these should all be over here. I forget. We'll just re-roll that one. And now they're going to roll. So they'll be active. They could, if they really wanted to, make it so. Okay, that was there from last time. They can make it so I can't score this wasabi, basically. Wasabi says the next nigiri that you play on it is worth triple points. So they could use a chopstick to swap this nigiri over to here, and then they give me one of their dice, and that would essentially make my wasabi useless. That's what they're going to do. They're going to spend the token. They're going to swap out this nigiri over here, and give me a they'll just give me a. They can give me the same nigiri. It's just now that they don't want to do that because then I can still spend the wasabi. So what they're going to do is they're going to give me a maki roll. So now we should each have 7. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's the drafting phase. So let's see what we can do here. They will go ahead and there is a sashimi there, but the sashimi is only a 1 in 6 chance of being rolled, so it might not be worth it taking it. So they'll go ahead and take another dumpling. So now they have, if we were to score right now, they would have 4 points. Over here, I have no nigiri anymore to use this with this wasabi. So that wasabi is going to be worth 0 points. It's not going to help me score anything. I'll just go ahead and take a maki roll. So the maki roll now, if we were to score it now, I have the most with 3. They have none, so I would get the 6 points. I don't believe they would get the 3 points because they still have to have the fewest out of, and it can't be 0. So now we have 6 dice left on each board. These will now switch. Dice will get re-rolled again. So for example, with this roll, I could take this nigiri. This nigiri is worth 3, but it won't be able to combo with the wasabi anymore. So I won't get 9 points for that. But let's go ahead and re-roll their dice. So we'll see what I do. I just want to show this mechanic off. So I'm going to spend a menu, and I'm going to re-roll my dice. And now, so as a player, so I will decide to draft. What do I want to take? It's kind of similar to what I already rolled, but I will just take this nigiri, and it'll be worth 3 points. It would be better if I could have combined it with the wasabi, but that's just how it goes sometimes. They will go ahead and take another dumpling. So now they have 8 points worth of dumplings. That round is over. Now their active player. We'll both roll our dice. Okay, so they'll be active. These are worth not very many points, so they're actually going to spend a menu and re-roll their dice as well. It's not a particularly good roll. Pick that with that, re-roll that. And there. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and they can get an easy 2 points here with that nigiri. So they'll do that. I'll go ahead and take another maki roll. And now we will swap again. And we will roll. Okay, now is there anything I want to take off of my opponent's board? I could take it that I can go ahead and swap that maki roll to make it so they get no points off maki rolls at all. Because, yeah, we'll actually do that. We'll go ahead, we'll swap a die. We'll give them that sashimi. If they had both of those, it would be worth 6 points, but they can only draft one. So if they do draft that, it's going to be worth 0 right now. They can go ahead and get more chopsticks, or they can get some puddings. So on my draft, I'm going to actually take another maki roll, and they will go ahead and actually just draft that. They will get pudding. So at the end of that round here, they'll take 2 pudding tokens, and those puddings will score at the end of the third round. So whoever has the most gets 6. Whoever has the least gets -6. I don't believe in a 2-player game that players actually lose points off of not having puddings or having the fewest. Okay, so now we're back. We're going to re-roll. There's another wasabi. There's another nigiri. But if they take that nigiri, that wasabi's useless. So what I'm going to do is I will take. I guess I'll just take the easy 2 points and take a dumpling. They'll go ahead and take that 3-point nigiri, and we will swap. We will roll. Alright, active player here, so do I think anything I want to swap? I'll take dumplings, and I guess they'll take a menu. So they'll get 2 menu tokens out of the bag. And then we will rotate again and do our final roll. So we're each left here with stuff that will not help us. So I'll just draft this as a 0. That will be drafted as a 0 as well. And let's just score up this round. So for example, I have the most maki rolls, so I get, that is 6 points with maki rolls. I have 3 points with that sashimi. With that nigiri. I have no points from sashimi. I have 2 points here, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 11. 11 points. And then at the end of the third round, I'll get these. I'll have those suspended. So over here, so what did we say we had? We had 11. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 points. Over here, they have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Those will give us that at the end of the round. 13 and 1 point for the tempura. So we have 8 there, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 11. So this player wins this round. And then Each player now has also 2 puddings for the final round, and you just repeat that and repeat the process for a total of 3 rounds, and then the most points wins. And you have these little point tokens to kind of give out to track your score, and these are the pudding tokens you would get at the end of that round. So each of us would have gotten 2 of these as well. And that's basically how you play Sushi Roll. And at the end of the game, also there's bonus scoring for every 2 that you haven't spent. You get 1 point. So that would be 1 point. That would be 2 points at the end of the game, and that would be 1 point at the end for me because I have only 3 tokens. So sometimes getting these or these will help you get a few extra points at the end of the game. And that is basically it. I really like it. Sushi Go, I really like the card game. And when they announced this, I was just glad that it wasn't a roll and write. I think roll and write games are kind of oversaturated right now. There's quite a few of them. That there are some that are really good, and there are some that I don't particularly like. So I do like that this is a Sushi Go dice game that isn't a roll and write. It's just a dice drafting game. So that again, this is Sushi Roll from Gamewright, and I really like it. It's pretty fun. I want to thank you for watching. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again in the future. And again, thanks for watching and take care.